is Monday during a Georgia football season, which means I got a film study coming for you.
We just stepped on their face with a hobtail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is a Wednesday during a Georgia football season, which means I have What We Learned Wednesday coming to you. How about that? Same pacing with the new intro. I'm still getting used to it. I got to be honest with you. It doesn't get me as hype as the OG intro. I know you guys feel it. I know you guys understand it. Y'all are right there with me. Those of you that held it down, like I said, appreciate y'all. As always, welcome in. We say it every week. Right? What have we learned Wednesday? It's where I bring you my thoughts, notes, and opinions from the previous week of Georgia football. I firmly believe it. I say it every time we open the mic on Wednesday. I truly believe. I don't think there's a person that knows the ins and outs of what happens in between the 53 and a half and the 110, 120 than me. Okay. Because I watch it. We study, right? That's what we do. We unload the notebook here on this day. Right. And yes, breaking news. The on-air sign is on. But before we get into what we learned about Georgia football, I want to tell you something, because you guys have been on this channel. Y'all are like family. I like to share my kind of life with you a little bit on air. And as I grow as a father and a husband, I'm going to bring you stories of things because it's impacting me and it's kind of changing the way I go about my life. And it's different, right? It's a different feeling. So I'm going to share some of these things. Sometimes I'm going to open them, especially when your son poops and pees in the toilet for the first time out of nowhere. Okay, been showing signs, right? Been showing signs of pottying, going to the potty, doing the thing, right? Doing some little tinkling. Today, dropped whole Duke in the toilet, right? Not to get too graphic. All right, but the coolest thing to me so far about being a parent to this point has been being able to contextualize kind of my relationship with my own parents through different kind of like moments like today. Prime example. One of my earliest childhood memories, I must have been potty training, was coming out of the bathroom after, handling my business. And then me and my pops playing a game of, hey, how big was it? You know what I'm saying? Playing a little game of how big was what you just put in that toilet. And I'm going to tell you what, Dad, I don't know if you listen to this show. If you do, me and Carter are definitely playing how big was it in the toilet. So I just want everyone to know that. And I want everyone else more than to let you know that my son pooped in the toilet today. More than that, to let you know that if and when you do have kids, I hope you're able to try to contextualize what went on with you and your parents through your child's eyes as well. I think it helps me be a better dad. I don't know. I could be a terrible dad, but I thought it was absolutely awesome today to see that moment in my child and immediately just like, phew. You and your pops had that same kind of moment, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Not 26 years ago. That is cool. That is cool to me. So yeah, what did I learn this Wednesday? I learned this Wednesday that parenting is friggin' awesome. So shouts out to mom and dad. Y'all did a great job. Here we go. Let's get into the show. That was a huge moment, right, Roots? Absolutely huge moment for the kid to be handling business in the toilet. Guess that's what you thought you were going to get opened up with today on the Film Guy Network on What We Learned Wednesday. But let's unload the actual notebook right quick. Before we do that, let's handle some business. If you're not already, subscribe to patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Had a lot of content over there this week. Had an hour worth of offensive breakdown. YouTube got like 20 minutes of that. Had an hour or 30 minutes today after recording it twice this morning of all 22 defensive stuff. So of the 55, 60, 70 clips they played on defense yesterday, I think we watched about 35 of them this morning. So head over there, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. If you like anything we do that is football oriented tonight, we do a lot of football talk tonight, apart from the pooping in the toilet stuff. So head on over there. While you're also in a supportive mood, the gramco.com promo code Brooks25 will get you 25% off on all your CBD and Delta 8 products. Good stuff over there as always. Appreciate those guys. Again, promo code Brooks25. I'll put the link in the description of this video. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. All right. So I think all of you guys know through 2 weeks now, your football team's got some flaws, right? I mean, I'm not breaking news here, right? We're not going to revamp the analysis on this football team tonight. Okay. We're going to give you my spin on what everyone's already telling you. Okay. And if we can, we're going to show you some things tonight. two plays in particular that will explain what I think are the primary issues or the quote unquote flaws, right? But I think it was really, really easy as whether you're a fan, whether you're a fan analysis guy, whether you're a film guy, or whoever you are. I think it was really, really easy to brush off Kent State. Hell, they didn't even punt in the football game. To brush off Kent State as, you know what I mean? Like, not really a problem. They really handled it when you watched it on film. I said the same things. Yeah, y'all stalled in the red zone. You figure that stuff out later, right? That was my thought process, even though you stalled in the red zone against Samford. I kind of brushed it off. I think a lot of people did. And then you follow up with the Mizzou, right? You follow up with the Mizzou things, whatever you call Mizzou. I call it a strugglesome win. I call it getting drug into deep water for 50 minutes on the road in the SEC. That's what it was. Y'all were treading head above water for 50 minutes. You know it. Y'all were. We seen the pictures. My boy Jake over on Baxter Street Boys. I mean, crisscross applesauce sitting on the floor looking up at the TV. I know there's a lot of Georgia fans that are my buddies, lifelong friends, that sit at the feet of the TV, crisscross applesauce, just at moments like that. Y'all get it too, right? But it was really, really good for your football team, and we'll talk about that tonight because it exposed further these flaws. Let's talk about them offensively first. Okay, the turnovers the last couple of weeks, abysmal. Again, not going to revamp the analysis here, guys. Y'all know the turnovers are bad. Here's what I'll tell you. Turnovers in football, creating them and forcing them and having them happen upon to you are kind of ups and downs for a lot of really discipline-based programs. Okay, the University of Georgia, trust me, coaches ball discipline, coaches ball security. Fumbles on this football team don't typically happen unless they are just happenstance, right? You will not see Stetson Bennett probably create a bunch of fumbles like Will Levis had on third and short against Ole Miss the other day, right? You're not going to see those types of things a lot on a Georgia football team. They coach these things really, really well. Most discipline-based programs do. So the turnovers will go up and down. It's no different than if you're a really, really responsible driver, and then all of a sudden for 18 years you're good, and then you have an 18-month span where you get pulled over 3 times. Like, so sometimes these things just happen. Georgia occasionally gets caught up with a speeding ticket. All right. So the fumbles come and go. They will. The turnovers will come and go. The interceptions, I mean, there's been one. They haven't been that bad, right? So not that bad. That's the good news. The other good news is the fact that the University of Georgia this year not only is averaging 500 yards in net offense, or total offense rather, every game for the first time under Kirby Smart. Tip of the cap to Todd Monken and the boys. But you're also leading the nation in red zone entrances, red zone attempts. You're moving the football in between, like getting it into the 20s better than anybody in the country. The problem and the bad news, thanks to Jonathan Williams, he found this on Dogs Daily in an article we wrote this week. Shouts out, si.com/college/Georgia. The problem is you're stalling out in the red zone. You lead the nation in red zone attempts, but you also lead the nation in red zone field goals. You're stalling a lot in the red zone. So why? Brooks, why? Why are we stalling in the red zone? What do you got for me? I got 2 plays. That's all I need. I got 2 plays, and I'll explain it to you. This is a microcosm, guys, ladies and gentlemen, of what's going on. By the way, it's also a microcosm of our content over on Patreon and on this network. So if you're new to this, welcome. Let's get after it. Here we go. We're actually going to break down some film on this. Can you believe that? 2 plays. The first one is a play where Brock Bowers makes an error. The second one is a play where your starting quarterback makes an error. 2 football players that you're really, really relying upon in the red zone, just beefing it in the middle of the red zone area. All right, so let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the first one. It's Brock Bowers. Follow my cursor here, guys, if we can. Here's Brock right here in the slot. He's going to run a little out and back to the post, okay? You've run it on NCAA. We all have, all right? He is going to run it, and as soon as you come out of this break, you're to expect the football. That ball is already released. If you see Stetson over here, he's already gone through his follow-throughs, arms past his right shoulder, okay, past his midsection. That ball is in mid-flight. It's already about to hit Bowers in the face. We have to be alert for the football. We have to be ready for the football, especially on 1st and 10 when they're high-lowing us like everybody else does. Linebacker underneath, safety over the top. Everybody high-lows this football team in the red zone on Brock Bowers. It's their best player. So when we design a football play to get our best player the ball in the red zone and it's a shot and it's a score and our quarterback puts it on your neck, we cannot not be ready for the football. That's error number 1. We get a replay of it right here. That can't happen. Not on really, really good football teams, right? But it's not just your starting tight end, right? It's your quarterback as well. I mean, this is a blatant miss. It's one of the two blatant misses to Kenny McIntosh in the flat that occurred on Saturday night. But here's the main problem to me. They are bunching for a reason at the top. Follow your offensive coordinator. If you're bunching for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. They're bunching at the top, and there's a whole lot of space right here if you're just paying attention because they're giving you a simulated pressure. All right. If they drop out, we don't have to get rid of the ball. We can go through our progression. He sees 5, 6 guys walked up to the line of scrimmage, but as the ball is snapped, there is only 3 players rushing. He checks the ball down. For what reason? Don't know. Saw pressure pre-snap, thought he was getting remaining pressure post-snap, goes to his check down. Not only does he airmail it, it's the bad decision. You have time to progress through your read. Your read's right here, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Guys, that right there, that's a 90-second clip of exactly what's going on. That you don't have a glaring issue. You do not have a problem. You do not have we can't do this. Georgia has a problem stacking problems right now. Every single college football coach in America preaches do your 111th, do your job, or some type of this cliche, right? But that's when it plays out in the red zone. When you're busting an assignment, Marcus Rosemi-Jacksaint or Ladd McConkey, whoever it was this weekend, right? When you're doing that in the red zone, when you're airmailing balls in the red zone, when something goes wrong with Darnell Washington on a wide open corner route and you just miss them, whether it be because he ran it too shallow or Stetson threw it too steep, that's lack of execution, right? That's not we can't block. That's not we can't throw the ball in the red zone. That's not we can't run the football. No, that's a combination of we couldn't run the football on second down and we damn sure couldn't throw it on third down that possession, so we kicked. Once you start stacking consecutive reps of consistency of success in the red zone, that's when you become the offense that you were in the end of the last year that won you a national title. Until then, you're going to keep being Mr. Kicky in the red zone. All right. It's not, did we run or did the offensive coordinator get creative enough? No, the offensive coordinator called the winners. You just didn't execute a lot, right? Same thing. I can also show you, not to just blame it on players, I can also show you Todd Monken rolling the quarterback to his left in 2 consecutive possessions. That's not normal. Todd Monken repeating concepts, not only rolling the quarterback to the left, but the primary concept being a whip return from the first read. Like, he ran basically the same concept out of a different look 2 plays in a row. That's not him. Just like Ladd McConkey dropping balls, not him. Just like this offense not really operating. Stetson Bennett airmailing 2 swing routes or arrow routes, not him. Okay, so what did I learn this week other than the red zone problems that have stacked up are an issue? Okay, I'm not overlooking any issue. I'm not telling you not to panic. I'm showing you or trying to explain to you that it's a progression of problems. It's not just this. It's this, right? It's not a massive issue. It's a continuation of little issues surrounded by a big mistake, right? And I think that's kind of a microcosm of your quarterback play as well so far in his career. And we'll kind of talk about that as the night progresses. So I think that's your issue offensively. You were really, really stagnant to start the first half. Saturday night, no one's telling you weren't. Okay, it was bad. 2 turnovers early, 2 fumbles. Like I said, 2 bad, uncharacteristic fumbles. That's not common, right? But once you started moving the football, you still stalled out. So you've moved the football really, really well. You still almost got to your 500-yard average mark this past weekend. You just didn't quite score once you started moving the football. Man, we're decked out merch tonight. Y'all got enough logos on the set, huh? You got enough logos on the set? While I'm taking a breather, we've done 3 hours of content at this point today, even though it feels like 3 hours. We're really 45 minutes into it. I don't know how people do daily 3-hour radio shows. I know a lot of people get a lot of help, and I'm solo in here just gassing it out the whole time. No commercials, no dead air, just 100% energy. And about midway through the season right now, we need a kick in the rear. And what the kick in the rear has been is credentials. So if you're going to be at the University of Georgia Saturday watching Auburn play in between the hedges, say what's up to your boy. I'll be there as well. So, yeah, if you want to do whatever, say what's up. So that's been nice. Appreciate the people over there in the SID department. They've been really, really graceful with me as of late. So shouts out. Whew. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up on this video, please do. I don't have a team that creates fancy graphics all over the place. It's me, 2 cameras, a mic. All right. So I don't have anybody saying, hey, dummy, tell the other dummies to subscribe. So just subscribe for me, please. That would be great. That's my way of doing the subscribe little. Imagine that just popped up. Y'all seen it on every other YouTube superstar y'all watch. Maybe that's why I only have 10,000 subs. Y'all seen the little thing that pops up every 10 seconds that's like, subscribe, boom, and then it gives you a little push tab. Man, that'd be great. If someone wants to virtually do that for me, holler at your boy. All right, let's get it. Stop saying you idiot. You're a professional broadcaster. Get after it. Like and subscribe, as my boy Rudy says. Thank you, in-show producer. Way to be a guy that gets called upon. Let's talk about this Georgia defense, shall we? As the guy stands up. All right. We can't show you a bunch of film here on this one because we already expired the film on the live. But you do have a problem defensively. Okay. Actually, we got one more topic offensively to talk about. So let's talk about this. Guys, I don't think you have an X receiver right now without AD Mitchell. And even when he gets back, we'll find out if you've got one. Here's how you'll know. Okay. Football stewards, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear Todd Monken, or if you went back and listened to Todd Monken's press conference from the beginning of the year, the only one he ever gets to do, you'll hear him talk about how they felt like they had to bunch because they didn't have an X receiver, a guy that could isolate outside, go to win. Talked about this on 680 The Fan with Chuck and Chernoff yesterday, a couple days ago. Anyways, you don't have an X receiver right now, okay? And it's really, really evident when Ladd's struggling. But even when he's not, it's really, really evident. Here's how you know you don't have an X, okay? And here's how you'll know if you do. Georgia's bunching a lot. Always bunching. Every time it's 3rd and 9, they need a big pickup. Bunch. Bowers, McConkey right next to each other, okay? That's them telling you we're trying to shorten the side, okay? And we're trying to isolate these 2 guys versus those 2 guys in a short side, condensed window, and make a little processed read, okay? So until you start seeing Georgia go 3-by-1 in critical downs and say, hey, go win, they don't have one. They tried it last week, okay? They went trips to the field, short side on the backside, Marcus Rasimi-Jackson. Missouri brought pressure. He had to hit Marcus on the speed out, or not on the out, on the extended out. It was a 10-yard out, and there was no space created. Ball was thrown at the stick, out of bounds. Punt team came on, okay? In years past, when he was healthy, which was 9 games, it felt like, was George Pickens. It was the last X you've had offensively, and your offense looked different, and it will look different the day a true X becomes there and healthy. Everything we've heard about AD Mitchell is that he will be that guy or can be that guy. Just not healthy right now, and high ankle sprains are nothing to rush, so I wouldn't be rushing it either. But until that is on the field, your offense is going to look different. It's going to look like guys can kind of walk up on everyone but Bowers. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. That's also what I've learned offensively. That kind of closes the book on the offense. Let's talk about the defense just a little bit. I am actually going to sit down because I got to read some stats right here that, I mean, these should be staggering numbers to you guys. You guys follow football. I mean, hell, you're here on a Wednesday night, 20 minutes in, listening to me talk about your football team. So y'all are really, really invested in this football team. So when I say these things about your defense, they should stick out to you. They should be like, that's different. Okay. In the last 2 weeks, Georgia has given up a 22-yard rush against Kent State, a 56-yard touchdown on a screen pass to Kent State, in which poor angles and bad tackling occurred. A 27-yard halfback screen, which again, poor reads, bad tackles, kind of some non-aggressive block shedding on the edge that led to an explosive in the halfback screen game. Okay, he had 81 yards on 2 runs against Missouri. Everyone knows that stat. Everyone's been running with it. Okay. And he had a 46-yard reception and a 36-yard reception against Missouri, as well as a pass interference that didn't get called on 3rd and 14 and a pass interference that didn't get called, or that did get called on a 3rd and 27. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 if you really go to it. 8 kind of examples in 2 weeks of things that Georgia doesn't do. Georgia does not do those things football on defense. They do not. That's not Georgia football at all. Okay, so just like on offense, is it one thing? No, I don't think it's one thing. If there's one thing that I will tell you that has and did eliminate all explosive runs against Georgia in the last couple of years, it's Jordan Davis. You know this. It's also the fact that Jalen's he's not healthy, and he's not going to be healthy. Okay. Jalen Carter's last year at the University of Georgia, 3 weeks of it just went up into flames last week when that dude did what he did. And that's part of the reason why we responded the way we did, because plays like what happened on Saturday not only cost Jalen Carter, didn't cost him any money. He's still going to be a top 5, top 10 pick. Does not matter. It costs the opportunity and it sounds selfish, to enjoy what he could put on tape in college football for at least the next 3 or 4 weeks. He will be back, but I don't expect him back until after the bye week. Why would he be? What? You're going to rush. He's definitely not playing against Auburn. Kirby Smart already told you that. Definitely not playing against Vandy. Why would you? Okay. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay. But we learned defensively, I think, that without Jordan Davis and without, Jalen Carter, you're still great against the run. Okay. But there are going to be explosives. 100% going to be explosives. We went off on that offensive line stuff. I don't want to show it tonight. If you want to see it, it's a 5-minute diatribe over on Twitter. And I think it explains the difference and the talking point about what is a chop block and what is not, and how to coach out what happened Saturday night. You can coach that out. I don't believe it. I don't believe you can't. I've seen too many teams run triple option in conferences that, play for a lot of money. Okay. Alabama would not invite Georgia Southern into their field if that's how they cut block for all them years, running the triple. That's not how football works. That was not football, what happened Saturday. Okay. And until there's some type of, I'm not going to say governing body, but until there's some type of something that holds players accountable for doing hellaciously dangerous things on the football field to other people's bodies, more than a flag. Okay. We have more than a flag for taking someone's head off. I'm not saying you have to give someone targeting for that play, but we have to eliminate that play, or you're going to have a bunch of what happened Saturday. Tramel Walthour, if he's watching right now, he would tell you he is very, very lucky to not be in the same position that Jalen Carter is in. Okay. So I don't think it's dirty. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's dirty, but you know what you're doing when you're not getting that third step in the ground. It's not even the guy in front of you is engaged. That's bad enough. But you would know that if you got your third foot in the ground. And we talked about that in length today on Twitter. And I don't want to go too long on it. But man, that frustrated me to watch. And I'm sure it frustrated all you guys to watch. But to me, it's just dangerous. Like I said on Twitter today, if we're going to be adamant about player safety, that play has no business in the sport of football. And it's not in college, or it's not in pro ball. I asked somebody today, I said, off the record, if this happened on Sundays multiple times, okay, multiple times, multiple coaches had to send multiple clips to multiple officiating divisions, okay? If that happened in the NFL, it wouldn't be sat on, okay, because players are protected, okay, because they're investments. It's not because they're holier than thou. Don't get it twisted. It's because they got money poured into them, right? But something would be corrected. The play would be eliminated. You would not have it done, right? And we have offenses everywhere that are doing this, that are just falling on the feet of defensive linemen for the sake of backside cuts. Let's keep talking about what we learned about the defense. I don't think it's ever one big mistake. I think it's a multitude of mistakes. So let's go. Where are we at in the show notes, man? Every once in a while, so flip-flopping screens, looking at different cameras, I'll lose the show notes. 100% will. Oh yeah, let's talk about these corners. I kind of alluded this on Patreon, and if you want the full kind of like explanation and visualization of the rundown I'm about to give you, I don't mean to sell everything for you, but I can't show you all of these things on this platform. We got to go see it over there in full length. Okay, this is not the avenue for it. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Well, let's talk about Kamari Lassiter, and then we'll talk about Keely Ringo, and then we'll hit a couple positive notes on our way out. All right. Kamari Lassiter had a 4-play stretch. Thought he played great. Outside of this 4-play stretch. He got beat downfield bad, like cooked, like run by me play. Okay, run by me play, but got saved by pressure. He wasn't the only player beat on the play. It's not that big of a deal. It didn't get complete, but just because you don't get completed don't mean you didn't get beat. Okay, that's football. But it still shows up on tape. He got cooked for one play. The very next play, he gave up a scramble because his eyes weren't quite right in a zone match situation. Okay, basically in college football now, even though we're running zone, after about 4 or 5 seconds, dude, if the ball's not out, you need to lock on with whoever you are in and now play man-to-man, which means you don't need to take your eyes off of him, because if you do, you will lose him and it will create space. It happened, 38-yard gain, okay? That happened twice on Saturday, the only 2 explosives via the pass. One was just a really great play and a really great throw. Malachi got beat. This one was you got bad with your eyes, just like your coach talks about all the time, okay? And then the very next play, this is a 3-play stretch. The very next play, he gets called for a PI. They immediately attack him. Okay, immediately attack him. He gets a PI. Okay, and then 2 or 3 plays later, he blows the coverage in the red zone. Right? You've all seen it on social media. Jamon Dumas Johnson going absolutely nuts. Okay, how do I know? How do I know it was him busting the coverage? Because the 2 dudes that were underneath in zones, Chris Smith and Tyke Smith, even though I think Chris was just out of place just by a little bit. Chris Smith, Tyke Smith both turned around and looked at Kamari like this. If 2 guys do that to one, wrong. Okay, I didn't need the JDJ stuff. We saw it on tape. It was clear. It was great that JDJ did what he did, and we got to see that, but we will talk about that in a little bit, because obviously we learned about leadership for this football team. Duh. Y'all know that. I think let's talk about Keely. So we talked about Kamari's. It was a 4-play stretch, but outside of that, I thought he played great. Okay. Did some great stuff. Had a great pass rush rep off the edge. I mean, true freshman or redshirt freshman corner. Come on, son. Give me that. Was dipping up underneath the outside or a left tackle's armpit. Like, was really getting after. He does great stuff. Had a bad 4-play stretch. So did Keely Ringo. Okay. Keely had a bad 4 or 5 play stretch on Saturday night. Y'all all saw it. He got ran by for an explosive. A run by me play. Okay. We call it run by 5. That's what the play call was. Hey, 7, run by 5. That was the play call. Yeah, we did some play action stuff off of it, but that was the play call. Run by 5. Okay. Got connected. Okay. Then got away, like we said, with a 3rd and 14, obvious, clear as day. Got there early, pass interference. Even kind of threw the flag on himself because he got there so early. He took Luther Burden's towel and kind of like threw it up as he was, ripping the ball out. The ball in there. Anyways, got away with that one. 2 plays later, they bomb him again. Okay. He gets kind of on top of and can't find the guy. And as soon as he finds the guy, puts his hands on him. Easy as day. Pass interference on 3rd and 27. That is a no-go. Can't have it. That's a no-go. Can't have it. I said on Twitter the other day, and this isn't me bashing. This is me saying the truthfulness about this situation. He came into the season, as people talk about him being first rounder, myself included, off of the season that he closed out having last year. He is on a list of football players, just like Warren McClendon, that I don't think you should be getting beat on not only a consistent basis, you probably shouldn't be getting beat. If at one point I held you as a high of esteem as a first-round draft pick, should be getting beat, okay? Especially not on a consistent basis. Something's going on there. I'm not speculating. I'm just saying something needs to get kind of cleaned up there, because there has been some issues on tape. There absolutely has been some issues on tape. I don't think I'm breaking news to tell anybody on this network that he hasn't played up to a first-round standard like we thought, okay? Simple as that. We don't need to go any further. There you go again with the ums. Don't let anyone tell you you can't build a YouTube platform without verbal tics. No one's in here, so when I make weird jokes like that, no one laughs except for me. I hope you guys laugh at home. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's talk about Stetson, okay? I think in years past, you guys know this. I think we've shown our viewers on this platform more than anything what the dozens of reasons why we think Stetson's the guy or has been the guy for Georgia over the last 2.5 seasons. We've tried to show you, partly because we believe it, 90% because we believe it, but 10% because the idiots on social media sometimes need to hear it. Okay, sometimes good play needs to be defended. Bad play needs to be drawn light to. Plays like we saw in the Missouri game need to be exposed. Okay, this is how things are changed, right? It's how people get better. So I don't think it's without a doubt that we've shown you enough reasons why Stetson's a good football player. We've shown you that on this platform. We've shown you that he's got elite arm talent. We've shown you he's got great legs. Kirby Smart telling you that his legs give you a chance to win is not BS. We've shown you that over and over and over again. But I've also kind of shown you or tried to show you the main issue that I have with his game, or the main issue in his game. Not that I have with it. It's an error. It's a fault in his process. Okay. And the only time he starts to unravel is when he's unraveling. This is not a football player that just makes one bad mistake. Okay. It's never one massive mistake. It's several little ones mixed in and around the big one. Okay. I think Saturday was a great example, right? It wasn't just the fumble. It wasn't just missing Kenny in the flat on the first time. It wasn't just missing him the second down, or the second time we just showed you on the on this episode right here, where he just doesn't go through his read and processes way too early and bails out of it, right? It wasn't just not being able to hook up with Darnell on the corner. It's all of them. It's all of these things coming together and ultimately coming to a head of a catastrophic moment, like throwing a pick to Will Anderson in the red zone, or throwing a pick six to number 9 against Alabama in the third quarter of the SEC championship game. You have seen these things happen in the negative bad games, right? The ones that make you say, do we need to go to someone, when you're being irrational in the middle of the second quarter when he's struggling. It's those same horrific moments that come back to light, right? I think the most important thing about what happened Saturday night, apart from the fact that you learned the last thing we're going to talk about, I think the second most important thing about what you learned about yourself Saturday night was that your quarterback stopped the skid. This has been a snowball to an explosive, catastrophic moment in years past. When he's going bad, when this offense is going bad, it's going catastrophic. And either Nakobe Dean has to pick six their way out of it, and Nolan Smith has to strip sack their way out of it, or, they have to figure out a way to climb out of it, right? Or they don't. In the SEC championship game, they did not, right? So I think the most important thing about Saturday night is on the road when you got drug into deep water, your quarterback figured it out, right? Your quarterback figured it out. Your offense figured it out. You got back to doing what got you successful. Okay, in the first half, Saturday night, Stetson was 10 of 24 with a fumble, okay, and 3 really, really bad misses. He was 14 of 19 in the second half. That's progression. That's improvement. That's a sign of something we figured out. When it was snowballing all to hell in years past, it was just snowballing all to hell. There wasn't no getting it back. There was no getting it back. Speaking of getting it back, let's get it back to the sponsors. Now, these people don't pay me, but they're friends of mine. And I believe in what they're selling, and I think that you guys should run over and support it. So let me get right to it. It is my buddy Chernoff and the people over there. My buddy Matt Chernoff and his company, Atlanta Sports Trips, have planned the perfect trip for you to see the Dogs take on Kentucky in Lexington this season. Atlanta Sports Trips combines premium travel experiences with game tickets to see your favorite teams play on the road. The trip to Kentucky includes, I can't read tonight, 3 nights stay at the Embassy Suites, Lexington Green, plus VIP meet and greet with Eric Zaire, DJ Shockley, and Chernoff himself. The trip also includes a trip to Castle and Key Distillery. Everybody loves some beer. How about that? Can I get a cheer for beer? Woo! Also, a trip to the Keeneland Racetrack. Everybody loves some gambling. Can we get a cheer for gambling? Woo! Gambling, beer, and the Dogs. How about that? Here we go. The trip also includes transportation and game day tailgate events. So hear me out. You get all exclusive 3-night stay, gambling at the track. You get to go drink some beer. You get to hang out with some cool folks, DJ Shockley, Eric Zaire, Chernoff, okay? And you get to tailgate. How about that? All in one trip. Head over to atlsportstrips.com. You can reserve a spot right now with a $99 deposit. Again, that is atlsportstrips.com. $99 will get you a deposit for the trip. Go check out that website for all the details, man. I do think it is going to be a fun time there. If we get credentials to Kentucky, Chernoff, first of all, I might leverage you to get me credentials there. First of all, if we get credentials to Kentucky, I'm all paid in on this. That's the exchange. I don't know if we got that in contract, but yeah, I'm going to the racetrack. You put me up in a hotel. I'll sleep on the floor. It's all good. But we in on that. We in there like swimwear, baby. He doesn't watch the show. No shot. Let's finish the show. We got a what to expect show coming tomorrow. Oh my God, I gotta prepare for that. I gotta watch 4 hours of Auburn. Pray for your boy. I gotta watch 4 hours of Auburn to bring y'all 45 minutes tomorrow. Pray for me. Let's preview it right now so y'all can be excited about it, because I'm obviously super excited about doing the work for it. It is one of our most highly anticipated shows. We haven't had one in a couple weeks. Just haven't been getting at it. We had a hurricane, had 2 non-power 5s. We gave you a bunch of what to expect going into Oregon. I think we gave you some for South Carolina. I can't quite remember. Yeah, we definitely did. Definitely gave you some against South Carolina. Maybe. Anyways, we're bringing you some tomorrow. I promise. We are absolutely going to bring you some what to expect tomorrow. Let's preview it right now. I expect tomorrow we're going to be talking about 12 personnel. Okay, a lot about 12 personnel. 1 back, 2 tight ends, the back being Tank Bigsby. We're going to be talking about 55% run. I would escalate that up north of 60 on automatic rundowns, which are 1st and 10, anything beyond short. Okay, so 2nd and 5 and lower, 3rd and 4 or lower. Key run. I'm telling you right now, Georgia's going to walk up. Georgia's going to walk up, play man, single high, and say, come on. They're going to spy the Q, and they're going to stop the run. That's what Georgia does every time a 12 personnel team comes into Athens and thinks they fitting to do that. All right, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. The problem right now is this is a football team in Auburn that is wildly inconsistent so far this season. They've got a quarterback that's kind of provided a spark. Okay, we're going to learn a lot about him tomorrow. I think he's a great athlete. Don't know a ton about him. Obviously, you can tell as I'm riffing right now, I've completely blanked on his name. So we're just going to leave him nameless. Number 9. Played against me in NCAA last night. We had to spy him. Forgot it every single time. If you haven't watched that show, go back and watch it. Plug. But they are a football team, or rather, they are not a football team with an identity. They have no idea who they are. No clue. And they're playing a team in Georgia who's not only way more talented, but they're playing a team in Georgia who's got about 85% of the identity that they're going to be when they're competing for a national title, I believe, in January. Not a good recipe. Not on the road. Here's the deal. Auburn been coming to Athens every other year for a long time. They've been getting mollywopped since 2005. Later points. We're going to tell you tomorrow. We're going to show you tomorrow. I love you. Okay, we'll see you.